you remember me, Sister Carol Joy, and I'm here to do a story with you that is about Christmas and how it's celebrated in some parts of the world. The name of the story is Bambinelli Sunday, A Christmas Blessing. I like this story because all four of my grandparents came from Italy. Two of them came from Rome, and this story takes place not too far from Rome and then moves into Rome. When I was a little girl, Christmas was very special because all four of the grandparents wanted to remember Christmas the way they had it in Italy. And it was a big celebration. They would be sure to have figs that were popular in their country, nuts of all kind, and very special food. The whole family came. And also in our neighborhoods, little babies were called bambinos, whether they were boys or girls, but bambino meant little one or baby. So I'm going to start to read this to you, and then I'm going to show you some of the pictures as I read. Bambinelli Sunday, A Christmas Blessing. In the beautiful country of Italy, in the ancient bustling city called Naples, you can take a walk down a wonderful street called Via San Gregorio Arminio. It's a street lined with shops and workshops where people are molding, painting, and sewing figures for nativity scenes. You will see their creations in the windows of their shops. You'll see angels and carpenters, farmers, bakers, shepherds, and kings. Cows and horses, little trees, nuts, houses, miniature pots and pans and babies, so many tiny babies, loving arms outstretched to you as you peer in the windows, trying to pick just the right one for the nativity scene that you have at home. On this street, it is Christmas all the time. In one of those shops, a boy named Alessandro is watching his grandfather work. It's such a warm and happy place, but Alessandro isn't smiling today. "Why so quiet, Alessandro?" grandfather asks. "On your visit last summer, you were full of questions." Alessandro shrugs. His heart is still full of questions, but today there's not about clay shepherds. He's even a little afraid to ask them. Grandfather peers over him over his glasses. I think I see a boy who would like to help his old papa," he teases. It's almost December and there's certainly a lot to do. Can you tell what his grandfather does? There is a lot to do around the shop, it's true. So Alessandro begins to sweep up bits of clay, fabric scraps, and dried moss from the floor. He hears customers in the shop. They are shopping for figures from the Bible and so much more. The people in Italy like to make their nativity scenes called Precipice. Busy and crowded with scenes from everyday life in both Bible times and today. Sometimes all mixed up together. It reminds them that Jesus is not just in the past, but lives with us today. Alessandro listens to Papa and Nona, laughing with a man who is looking for little chickens and dogs that would chase each other around a farmyard in his precipice. And they would really move. How funny. Alessandro can't laugh, though, because he's still thinking about his questions. It's been a month since his parents had to go to another country for their work, leaving him here with his grandparents. When will they return? When will they be back to his home, in his old school, and with his friends? Alessandro can't hear the laughing or see the bright blue of the Blessed Virgin's robes on the gold of the baby's halo. All he can see right now are the broken pieces on the floor. He tries to clean them up. A few days later, Alessandro runs out on the cobblestones in the piazza in front of the store. He had felt shy about coming out to play with the other boys, but Nona had almost pushed him outside on this sunny December afternoon. As he chases the ball and hears the other boys cheerfully call his name, Alessandro starts to feel happy. The ball bounces to him and he gives it a good kick. Oh no! The ball doesn't go where he thought it would. Will Signor Angeli be angry? Alessandro rushes inside his grandparents' store, sad and afraid all over again. I'm so sorry, sniffs Alessandro to grandfather. I just wish you could make new ones, interrupts grandfather with a smile. Well, I think Signor Angeli has plenty to refill his basket. Have you decided what he has dropped and broken? But as he looks thoroughly at Alessandro, perhaps you would like to try to make a figure for our little shop. But I don't know how, Alessandro protests. I can't make anything, especially anything so beautiful. Perhaps not yet, laughs grandfather, but you have to start somewhere. And Alessandro, it's love that makes what we create beautiful. It's what makes Nona's food taste good. Love brings all the pieces together. I think you have quite a bit of love in your heart, don't you? Alessandro nods, but he can't speak. Nona does, though. Enrico, Bambinelli Sunday is next week. What if Alessandro makes his own bambino, and the two of you take it up to Rome for the Holy Father's blessing? Now, Rome is where the Holy Father lives. It's where the Vatican and Vatican City is. Of course, grandfather claps his hands. Alessandro doesn't know what Bambinelli Sunday is, but he listens as grandfather explains and helps him to fashion his very own Christ child. First, Alessandro learns to shape the clay. He practices by making a basket of fruit, and then it's time for him to try to make the baby. It takes a lot of practice and help. He doesn't look exactly like grandfather's, but he's still proud of it. And when he paints the smile on the baby's face, it's like the baby is smiling right at him. His grandfather tells him, every year on the third Sunday of Advent, right before Christmas, children come into the great St. Peter's Square in Rome. They bring their Bambinelli, their figures of the infant Jesus, from their home Precipe. Now, do you wonder what Precipe means? It means the little cradle or the little bed that the baby is sleeping in. Sometimes it's a little place they put hay. The children bring them as though they are gifts, and they are gifts of love. They bring them to the Holy Father, and he blesses them. He blesses the children, their families, and the figures of the Christ child. And you, Alessandro, he'll bless you. I'll take you there, and you bring this beautiful figure of Jesus that you have made yourself. The morning of the Bambinelli Sunday is so busy. Alessandro and grandfather must prepare for a 2-hour train ride to Rome, which is a pretty big city. As Alessandro straightens the swaddling clothes on his little bambino, he proudly imagines showing it to his parents and laying it in the manger in their Precipe at home. But oh, another accident. Alessandro is disappointed and angry with himself again. Why does everything break? It's time, Alessandro, Nonna calls from the kitchen. What can he do? Grandfather's babies are nicer than mine anyway, he thinks as he grabs one from the shelf and runs to the door. On the crowded train, grandfather goes to talk with his old friend and points to Alessandro proudly. Alessandro wishes what he knows grandfather is saying were true, that he was bringing something of his very own from his heart for a blessing. In the seat next to Alessandro, a little girl starts to fuss. Nothing her big sister does can quiet her. The smaller girl sees Alessandro's bambino and reaches for it. Alessandro hesitates. The little girl reaches again, smiling a little bit now. "Baby," she giggles. Alessandro quietly puts the baby Jesus in the little girl's hands, and before he knows it, or even why, he is laughing too. The train pulls up to stop. Alessandro puts his hand on his bambino, for the little girl clutches it to her heart. Alessandro doesn't want to let go, but the baby, Jesus, has made the little girl happy. How would she feel if he took it away from her? How would he feel? He lets go. Outside with grandfather, Alessandro sees the train, pulls off, and hears the girl calling, "Grazie! Thank you so much!" If you look closely, you can see the little girl in the train window. Grandfather and Alessandro arrive at St. Peter's Square. Hundreds of children are running about, laughing and singing, showing each other their bambinelli. But Alessandro can't really see the beautiful big Precipe in this crowded square or hear the bands playing. There's so many children. All he can hear is the pounding of his heart, and all he can feel are his empty pockets. "I don't have anything," he whispers to grandfather. I don't have anything to give, nothing at all. I think you can see this from there because there's so many children and he's over on the side feeling sad. I love this next picture. Are you sure, Alessandro? Grandfather asks. Alessandro blinks in the bright sunlight. He can't believe what he is seeing. For in his hand, Grandfather holds Alessandro's very own Bambino. Alessandro looks up questioningly into his grandfather's twinkling eyes. Oh, Nonna saw the accident and I had a minute, so just enough time to get a little glue. Alessandro studies the Bambino's smiling face and his broken arm. He looks around at the other Bambinelli. Grazie, Grandfather, thank you, he sighs. But it's still broken. I wish it were perfect. Alessandro just looked at him, said Grandfather kneeling down beside him and pressing the baby into his hands. He is perfect. I love this picture. Alessandro looks up and sees a white speck in a window, an open window. It's the Holy Father, our Pope. Along with thousands of other children, Alessandro holds his Bambino up high. I brought my Bambino too. Looks like this. Probably similar to the one Alessandro had. He holds his Bambino up high, the baby who has surprised him so much. He has been surprised by forgiveness, by learning, by sharing, giving, and comforting. The Pope blesses all of them. Close behind him, Alessandro hears a voice call out, Alessandro! But who's that? Who would be calling his name? Alessandro turns around to see the most wonderful surprise of all. I think you can guess who those people are. They're his mother and father who have returned from their business and they see their son. And he's so happy to see them. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger. And look what we have here today. We have a beautiful, beautiful manger scene. There's Mary and Joseph adoring Jesus. The animals, the angel, one of the shepherds. And you know, as time moves on, and Christmas is fast, and we see the three kings coming with their wonderful, wonderful gifts for the child Jesus and the family. We have to find out if we could get all three of those on this camel. But one way or another, they're following the star, and they will come to adore the baby Jesus because the star has led them there, and they know that he is the Savior, the one who will come to save us and bring us with him to heaven. I hope you like this story. I like it, and it's a kind of a new tradition, but the Pope who wrote the story must have done it in his country. He was from Germany before he became Pope, and now he's living in Rome with our now Holy Father, Pope Francis. And that's a lovely thing if we think of carrying the baby Jesus, if we could carry him not only in our hand, but in our heart every day of our lives. How could we do anything wrong? We would want to do whatever we could to make him happy and to be with him. Thank you for listening today. I love doing this. When I was a little girl, we didn't have television. I'm sorry to tell you that. But I used to listen on the radio to all these fairy tales and all wonderful, wonderful stories. And these are things I've kept in my mind for all these years, and I hope forever, because they're wonderful stories. And children learn by knowing stories and listening to them. So let's find out how we can please the baby Jesus, especially this Christmas. And have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Get ready for it and enjoy every minute of it with your family. And when you come to St. Hilary's, take sure to have a good look at this beautiful, beautiful nativity and help these three get here. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time.